What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mikey Hot Takes, serving up hot takes like they're hot cakes, and we're here with another Giants video. Yes, I know, another Giants video. Is this channel ever going to get to the Mets? Is it ever going to get to the Knicks? Yes, we're coming up with some Mets and Knicks videos very soon. Perhaps today, perhaps. But first things first, the most important thing in New York sports right now is this guy right behind me, right over my right shoulder, Joe Judge. The Fighting Joe Judges, the New York Giants, went to Seattle, got a big W, and remained atop the NFC East no matter what happened Monday night with Washington. The Giants are still in first place. Let's talk about it. We're here to talk about the game. We're here to talk about what's coming up. We're here to talk about what went well, what they could do better. Let's dive into it. So the first thing to think about this game is how good the Giants defense could actually be. I mean, we haven't really thought about it. They played some really good teams early on in the season. They had a lot of guys in and out. Some guys early in the season that weren't good enough. They got them out. They brought in other guys. You could see that. There's a no-name on the defense every week making a play. I mean, this guy, Nico Lelos, has 2 turnovers and 2 starts. He couldn't have played more than 20 snaps the last 2 weeks, and he's forced 2 turnovers. So there's guys making plays all over the defense. You love to see that. To name a few, Jabril Peppers, who I think is a real asset to this team. Number 1, he's from New Jersey. Probably a Giant fan. If he's a Jet fan, God bless him. God bless all you Jet fans out there. We'll just wait for Trevor Lawrence and we won't talk about them anymore, right? But anyway, good God, this defense performed on Sunday. Russell Wilson had absolutely nowhere to go with the football for 90% of the day. It was unbelievable how confused they got one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And you wouldn't really point to any player on this defense if you're an outsider, a casual fan of the team, or not really following the team. There's not one guy you go back in the past and go, this guy's an all-pro. I can see why their defense is so good. No, this is team defense. This is what good football teams have. They play discipline. A lot of the penalties, listen, there's penalties committed by every team. The Giants' penalties, to me, don't bother me. A lot of them in the past, they've been stupid. They've been undisciplined. You've been like, does the coach even drill not committing penalties with the team? Does he even have a referee on the field during practice? That's some of the ways I felt about James Betcher and Pat Shermer last year. But we won't talk about them again. It's all about Joe Judge, Patrick Graham. And yeah, we'll give Jason Garrett some credit, all right? Especially for this past weekend, you got to give Jason Garrett some credit. Some of the play calls I thought were spot on. The pass that they ran to McCoy, the 2-point conversion where they decided to throw it, I think they completely caught Seattle off guard. They had a little bit more faith in Colt McCoy than they were willing to let on, but they didn't force it, you know? First half, McCoy looked really shaky, and I think he admitted that in his post-game press conference. I think he said he grew into the game a little bit. And, of course, you'd expect that. The guy's barely played over years. But one thing he did do is, even the interception, you could blame him. You could blame Ingram. He protected the ball. He played it safe, and they ran the football in the second half. And that's what got the Giants the dub on offense. But really, when you talk about it, the defense holding to Seattle to 3 points in the first half, unbelievable. 9 points in the second. I mean, I'm willing to say I don't think you'll find another defense do that to the Seahawks this year. I'm willing to say that. I think the Seahawks will put 20 points on just about every other team in the NFL this year. So, especially at home. I know there's no fans there, but the Seahawks were heavy favorites in that game, and you always have to say that. Russell Wilson against Colt McCoy at home, that's always a win for Russell Wilson. I don't care how many times you simulated Madden. I don't care what you do. Russell Wilson wins that game. So that is an absolutely huge win for Joe Judge and his staff in his first year. I mean, there's nothing bad you could say about the guy to this point. He's electrified the fan base. He's playing a hard-nosed, smash mouth brand of football. You love to see it. You really love to see it. I mean, there are guys in this team, like I said, that you never heard of making plays. Darius Slayton was a 6th-round pick. He's turned into a number one, basically the number 1 option down the field for the Giants. Evan Ingram, say what you want about the guy. The guy gets open, which is so frustrating. I think he caused the turnover. I was blaming him on Sunday. Listen, it's a tough throw from McCoy, tough way to get your hands up from Ingram. It was just a bad play, but geez, this guy gets open a lot. Even from McCoy, he was getting open and causing problems for the almighty Jamal Adams, even though Adams would bring him down or make a key tackle. Listen, Ingram's a talent, all right? And we have to utilize that while he's still here. I don't think he'll be here much longer. I think he's a luxury player that the Giants don't necessarily need right now. But listen, the guy gets open. He made some plays. You got to tip your cap to everyone who played for the Giants on Sunday. This was the best Giants game I've seen played from start to finish in years. All right. I liked it. You could say, oh, it's not pretty. They're not scoring a lot of points. This isn't a team when Daniel Jones is playing. I don't feel like they can never score. A lot of the times they're driving down the field and maybe Jones makes a bad turnover or the drive stalls for a bad holding penalty or whatever. But it's never that futile feeling that you used to feel with Eli when they're just going to go 3 and out. They're just going to go 3 and out. And honestly, Eli probably would have won a game similarly like this. This is the type of game Eli would have thrived in late in his career where he doesn't have to do much. He can hand the ball off. But that didn't work against Eli, honestly. That didn't work. They didn't respect him. They didn't respect his mobility, so it was very difficult. Colt McCoy, at least you can move around, and he's athletic enough to make a play late in his career. So, listen, huge W for the Giants. I mean, I don't know what more I can say about that on that front. We move on to next Sunday against Arizona, and another huge game. This is at home. Kyler Murray coming to the East Coast, coming to the cold weather. It's snowing right now in New York City. Hopefully it's snowing again on Sunday. I've never seen Kyler Murray play effectively in the snow. Maybe he did last year and I missed it and I didn't care about it, but let me know if he did. I want to see this game go exactly the way it did last Sunday. If the Giants implement this game plan they used against Seattle and they use it against Arizona, there's not many different things when you look at the profile of Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. I do think Russell Wilson is more of a pass first, run last resort. I do think Kyler Murray is more willing to say, oh, my first option's not there. I'm just going to take off and get a couple more yards, which is dangerous for the Giants. They have to spy him the whole game. They have to take the mobility out of the game. And they did that to Russell Wilson to their credit. So I have confidence they can do that again, especially if Daniel Jones is on the field, because I do think the margin for error widens if Daniel Jones is playing. He can make a couple more throws down the field if you're down a score. He could get you back into a game maybe a little bit more effectively than Colt McCoy would. So these are all things you love to see. I have no complaints really from this game on last Sunday. This was a perfectly played football game from a team that you would say is undermanned going into it. But really, to me, the only difference when you look at it is at the quarterback position this weekend. I mean, the two teams are very evenly matched, maybe on paper, but the Giants punched them in the mouth in the trenches. Defensive line, Leonard Williams, this guy has been tremendous this year. I know the guy's on a contract year, and that might have something to do with it, but he's been excellent. You can't say anything about Dave Gettleman and making that trade right now. I mean, if you're a Jet fan, fine, you love the pick. You guys probably wouldn't be winning with Leonard Williams anyway. If you're a Giant fan, this guy's been a monster, and allowing this team to drop a lot of guys back in coverage. Leonard Williams, while he may not be your Von Miller type or your J.J. Watt, like he's going to get you 20 sacks a year, in a 3-4 scheme, he occupies two defenders, and he can get through a double team in a couple seconds if you cover well, which is what we saw on Sunday. Russell Wilson had time back there. They were covered sacks, but when you're only dropping back 3 and you're still getting someone to the quarterback in some time and at least rushing with some discipline, they're not just wildly rushing, allowing lanes for Russell Wilson to get some yardage. They're rushing disciplined. They were dropping a lot of guys back into coverage, and Leonard Williams has a huge part in that. He's not a guy you want to defend for more than 3-4 seconds, which is what Seattle saw. No matter how many guys you throw at him, he's a problem with his size, and he does move well for his size. So tip your cap to Dave Gettleman. I think he's the best player on that defensive line. You have to say that. Dexter Lawrence has been a great draft pick as well. I think he goes a lot of undeserved his credit, but geez, this Giants team is on fire right now. Let's keep it going into Sunday. Like I said, implement the same game plan we saw against Russell Wilson last Sunday, and get another W. Stay in first place. If you win this game this Sunday, then I think a lot of the pressure is off going into Cleveland and Baltimore, which are two very tough games. And then you go into Week 17 with a chance to beat the Cowboys to go to the playoffs. That's what you want if you're a Giant fan. Go into Week 17 with a chance to make the playoffs against Dallas. That will be your glory day no matter what happens in the playoffs. I will love that. You will love that. We will all love that. So, all right, let's keep this G-Men train rolling. I'm rocking the 21 in honor of Jabril Peppers. We got the color rush on. Let's keep it going. G-Men Nation, stand up. We're on fire right now. And yeah. All right, so subscribe to the channel. and like the video. Why not, right? Why not? It takes 2 seconds. Hit subscribe. I'm not gonna do all this, fancy, oh, subscribe. I'm doing it right now. So hit subscribe and keep these videos coming for you. We got the Giants, we got the Mets, we got the Knicks. They're all coming up. So we're gonna talk about them. We will do a little Yankees in the future as well. So stay tuned to the channel. And yeah, peace out.